Affordable housing in Portage can sound a little strange at first, because Portage is not a weak housing market. It is one of the stronger markets in this part of southwest Michigan. The current sales price year-to-date in Portage is $310,000. A current new construction listing in Portage commonly starts in the low to mid $300,000s. Portage also has a relatively strong income profile, with the U.S. Census reporting a median household income of $83,212. So when the city talks about affordability, I do not think they are saying Portage is a distressed market. I think they are saying something much simpler. Portage is a desirable place to live, and because people want to live there, prices stay elevated. The city also has limited room to keep spreading outward, which means supply cannot just expand forever. This is the basic problem. A place can be successful and still become hard for regular working households to buy into. That is really the issue we are looking at here. And when I say regular working households, I mean the group that often gets squeezed the hardest. Not the highest earners and not the households who qualify for deeper subsidy programs. I'm talking about the middle teachers, police officers, firefighters, healthcare workers, young families, first-time homebuyers. The Stanwoods Crossing program is specifically aimed at households earning roughly 80 to 120% of area median income, which the city says is a target band for this neighborhood. A lot of people want in, but the number of affordable homes that fit what a normal family wants is limited. So the city is trying to create a few more of those homes middle-income homebuyers are completely priced out of. That does not mean the city controls the whole market. It means the city is trying to carve out a small lane inside the market. Now let's talk about the numbers that make this easier to understand. Portage's median income household income is a little over $83,000. That sounds solid, and it is, but income alone does not buy the house. Monthly payments buy the house. And that is where a lot of buyers get stuck. If a family is trying to keep the payment closer to what local rent feels like, they do not shop from the top of the market down. They shop from the monthly payment backwards. That matters because new construction in Portage is not cheap. Right now, public listings show new homes in Portage commonly starting around the low $300,000 and upward range. One current Allen Edwin example listed in Portage is $339,900. It's got 2,083 finished square feet with 5 bedrooms. And broader new construction search results show a Portage median new home list price around $350,000. So what would it likely cost to build a more modest new home in Portage? Say 1,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage, house with an unfinished basement on about 1/8 of an acre. Nobody can give a perfect number without plans, site work, utility conditions, and builder bids, but public construction cost guides put builder-grade construction in a broad range of roughly $150 on the really cheap side to $300,000 per square foot, which is most likely where you would land. Concrete basement foundations are a major added cost, and 2-car garages also add meaningful cost. So in plain English, a house like that is probably not a $220,000 project. If you are building it conventionally in today's market, a more realistic rough range for the structure alone is often somewhere in the neighborhood of the low to mid $300,000s or more. Before land, site prep, permits, utility work, financing, carry, and developer profit are fully accounted for. And that is exactly why this program exists. Stanwood Crossing is not pretending the free market suddenly got cheaper. The city's approach is to change the math. According to the city, buyers in this project purchase the home but lease the land through the Portage Community Land Trust. That lowers the purchase price because the buyer is not paying for the land in the same way as a traditional purchase. On top of that, the city says the initial home prices are discounted from construction costs. In other words, the affordability is not coming from some secret trick. It is coming from public support and a different ownership structure. That support is real money. Public reporting says the project is a 42-home neighborhood with roughly $18.7 million in total investments. Supported in part by $3 million from Kalamazoo County Homes for All millage, $1 million from a federal grant, and $1 million from the city of Portage, along with other support. So if somebody says How are they making these homes cheaper? The honest answer is they are changing the land model, and taxpayers plus public grants are helping cover part of the gap. Now let's talk about what that actually means for a buyer today. The city has indicated that these homes are expected to come in roughly in the low to mid $200,000 range, depending on the final build, which is a noticeable difference compared to traditional new construction in Portage that typically starts in the $330,000 range. So if you simplify the math, a conventional new build is $330,000 to $350,000. This program is closer to $220,000 to $250,000. So that's a meaningful gap. And when you translate that into a monthly payment, that's where this becomes real for people. The price range gets you much closer to that $1,400 to $1,600 a month range, depending on rates, taxes, and insurance. That's right in line with what many families are already paying in rent. So for the right buyer, this isn't just helpful. It can completely change whether homeownership is even possible in Portage. Now at the same time, it's important to zoom out and stay realistic about the scale of this. We're talking about 42 homes. Not 400, not 4,000, just 42. So from a big picture market standpoint, this is not something that is likely to dramatically shift home values across Portage overnight. It's simply too small. For most homeowners, this is probably not something that is going to directly impact your home's value in any meaningful way. Where it could become more impactful is if this type of program expands significantly. If you suddenly saw 500 homes or 1,000 homes built under this same model, now you're introducing a large number of newer, lower priced homes into the same price range as older resale homes. That's where you would start to see real pressure on pricing. But at 42 homes, this is more of a targeted solution than a market-wide shift, and that's why I think it's fair to look at this from both sides. On one side, the city is trying to solve a real problem: keep working families in the community, create a path to ownership that currently doesn't exist. And for the buyers who qualify and get one of these homes, this is a huge opportunity. On the other side, it does introduce a different pricing dynamic. It's not purely driven by supply and demand, and it raises fair questions about long-term effects if expanded. Both of those things can be true at the same time. And that's really the goal here, not to take sides, just to understand what's actually happening. So if you're watching this and thinking, could I qualify for something like this? Or would this make sense for my situation? That's where I can help, because programs like this come with income requirements, qualification guidelines, specific financing structures, and a different ownership model than a traditional purchase. If you're considering this as an option, reach out to me. I can walk you through what the process looks like, how this compares to buying a traditional home, and whether this actually makes sense for your long-term goals. No pressure, just real information so you can make the right decision. Because at the end of the day, this market isn't getting simpler, and the more you understand your options, the better position you're in. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.